Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing kind of a cop-out video, I feel like. I have nothing else to film, and some of you have asked me to do a kind of like a get to know me. Also, some have asked to do a get to know me with my husband. So we're gonna do that today. But I don't wanna just sit here and talk about me. It feels weird. So I am gonna get ready as I do that. I'm probably not gonna explain what I'm doing because this isn't really about the makeup. So yeah, if you wanna, I guess, get to know me, then just keep watching. I think I'm actually gonna put headphones in because it's just so quiet. And I was so excited when I bought these because then I was like, yes, I can literally, stop dropping them. Listen to music as we talk. Maybe I should only put one in. Yeah, that'll be fine. I just bought these and I love them. Anyways, because I noticed as I get ready and kind of do these videos, the only thing that I hate about it is that I can't, let's just do one. I can't listen to anything. And so it's just silence or me talking, and that's real annoying, trust me. So I'm just gonna pull up a get to know me because I know not everyone follows me on Instagram, so I didn't feel like asking questions there. Anyways, let's just get started. I'm gonna spray my face. I'll try to remember to at least say what I'm using. So this is the Pixi Hydrating Milky Mist. So for, how am I supposed to talk and not sing? Rompe. Okay, I'm gonna try really hard not to sing as I do this. I'm gonna take the NYX Marshmallow Primer. I actually really like this stuff. So I guess the first thing we should talk about is my name. It's actually not Gigi. I mean, that was probably assumed. I feel like most people with that name, it's actually a nickname. And it's actually really hard for me to even tell somebody my name is Gigi because I never have gone by a nickname until like maybe the last 10 years, and really nobody calls me it except for kids. And then I've now noticed some people started to adopt it, like my stepbrother, my aunt, sometimes my husband. Like, so I don't really go out of my way to tell people that that's what my name is, but I know it's also easier to say and easier to read, so I just keep it at Gigi Sedaris for everything. My actual name is George Ann. And I don't know why people stumble and have such a problem with it. Like, one place I was going to, the lady just could not figure out what the name was because like they pull up, you know, your rewards or something. And she's like, Gregory? Yeah, Gregory, yep, that's me. So I tend to just say Gigi. It makes it easier. But my name is actually my parents' names combined. I think I'm gonna go in with a concealer first. Why not? Let's do the Dior Forever Skin Concealer. I feel like switching up my routine. But anyways, back to my name. My name is my parents' names combined. So my dad is George, my mom is Anne, because in a lot of cultures, but in Greek culture, you're supposed to pass down the name. But my mom did not like my mother-in-law, so she ixnayed that name, which is now why my sister is actually Sophia. Half sister, so different marriage. But anyways, so that was kind of a compromise as they passed down their names instead. So it's gonna be hard to multitask because like I'm doing makeup at the same time as listening to music, which shouldn't be a problem, but I want to sing along and I can't sing and talk. Also, I'm like easily distracted, so this might be a problem. It at least might be a problem for editing me. I swear I get eye boogies so much. Okay, can we just talk about where we're going? All right, so one of these questions is, where did you grow up? So I grew up in Iowa, in the capital. So people think of Iowa, they think cornfields. I grew up in the capital, so it's a city. It's a big city. Compared to other big cities, it's not, but it's a big city. So no, I'm not around cornfields and cows and stuff. Where do you currently live? Still in the big city. I've moved out of here twice. No, actually more than that. 3 times? Yeah, when I was 18, I moved to Florida with my aunt, and then when I was down there, my dad, who I hadn't seen in a while because he had moved to Greece, asked me, which he's originally from Greece, so he moved back to Greece with my stepmom and them, and so he asked me to move out there with them. So I went to Greece, and then for about 7 or 8 months, and then moved back to Florida, back to Iowa because of school, and then tried to move down to Iowa or Florida twice with my husband. Job market was horrible, couldn't get jobs, it was just bad, and ended up back here again. The state just does not want to let me go, apparently. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I love this foundation, and to be honest, anytime I get a compliment on my skin, I'm wearing this foundation. What did you want to be when you were a kid and now as an adult? So as a kid, I mean, I don't know like young what I wanted to be, but oh god, how do I not get makeup on this? You know what, we're gonna ixnay. I thought I could do it, but I literally cannot focus, so we're not gonna do that. Back to this. So when I was younger, I wanted to be a singer, and I kind of just never thought about it after that. Like, I wasn't somebody who was contemplating what I was gonna do with my life. I just was gonna be a singer. However, I didn't do anything to try to be a singer. I mean, I was in chorus my whole life, like all school year. I think you started being able to do like a separate actual like singing class at school in 4th grade, I wanna say. So since 4th grade, I was in choir, any kind of choir. I did just like singing choir, like, you know, the normal choir. And then I did show choir. Hated it. Granted, I also wasn't in the best group because I half-assed everything, including that. Also, stage fright. So I couldn't do, like, you have to audition to get into the better classes. Also, just between me and you, the better class had no fat people unless their personality and voice was amazing. And again, stage fright, so it wasn't. But anyways, so I really didn't like it. I kind of at that point just did it to hang out with the rest of my friends. Then in middle school, was it middle school or freshman year? It was either my 8th grade or my freshman year of high school, I can't remember. I did Iowa Youth Chorus, which is a company here you have to audition for, and then we traveled mostly just the Midwest, I think. I remember going to Kansas, but I really don't remember much else. I did that for a year. Every single year you had to kind of renew and re-audition, and when the year came up and you had to audition for another year, I decided not to do it because I just hated the music. It was all classical music, and it's not my vibe. So I didn't do it. It's funny because my mom will tell you I quit. I did not quit, okay? It was a year-by-year program. I finished the year. She just doesn't get it. She tells me I quit. I'm like, so basically what you're saying is I had to have done it for my whole life because you gotta stop eventually, and I finished the year. That was what it was. She always is calling me a quitter. Anyways, same thing with volleyball. She called me a quitter on that too. When I finished the year, just don't renew it. Anyways, I'm getting off topic and I'm talking about my mom. What I want to do now, gosh, that is harder to answer. I never show you guys me doing this. I kind of just cut this part out. But you gotta make your neck match. And my neck is the whitest part of my body. This is gonna be like an all over the place video. I'm gonna use Maybelline Fit Me per usual. So back to kind of what I want to do now. I don't have anything specific. So I would love to be a singer, but stage fright and stage fright. So that's not gonna happen. But other than that, I don't really have one specific thing. And let me tell you, as an almost 30-year-old, that feels terrifying. Like, I'm constantly having quarter life crises, I feel like, because you just don't know what you want. Like, I know a lifestyle I want, so I know the kind of money I need for the lifestyle. But as far as like what I want to do, I really don't know. Like, I love YouTube, so I'm not gonna quit that. So to be honest, I would love YouTube to be my career, but I wouldn't want just YouTube to be my career, if that makes sense. Like, don't get me wrong, I could film videos all day. Really don't enjoy the editing process, which you've probably noticed by how half-assed my editing is. But I wouldn't want that to be solely my career. I would obviously just do more with it, but I always want YouTube to be a part of it. But I feel like there's just so many things that I want that it's hard to be like, oh, just go for that. Something that's almost more crippling, because then you just don't do anything. Makes sense, right? I'm just gonna put some chapstick on. This is from, it's fully washed off or wiped off, but I think it's Jouer. It came in a BoxyCharm. So I, obviously, like I said, I know I want to do YouTube, and I want to do, I'm kind of debating because I'm obsessed with purses, if you can't tell. And I think I want to make design purses. Like, that would be so fun. Not sure on that yet though, because that sounds expensive. But that would be so fun. I think I'm gonna go in with the Jack & Cosmetics bronzer in Oh Honey. I think I'm just gonna use the bronzer though, because I've used that blush a lot. Sorry if you hear banging downstairs at all. Mike is working on the jet ski and I'm above the garage. What year are you born? 1992. I am 28. Don't feel like it, but I'm 28. I could have a whole video on talking about that. How like age is such a weird perception, because when I was younger, I looked at 28-year-olds, 30-year-olds and was like, wow, they're old. And now I'm like 28 and I'm like, I still feel not necessarily young, but I don't feel old at all. And I don't feel like I have my shit together at all. And I feel like when I was younger, I thought 28-year-olds, like late 20-year-olds were like, they had their shit together. No, we don't. Who does? So that's like a weird concept, like the whole perception. Anyways, let me find an actual question. Are you or have you gone to college? I have gone to college. I did not finish though. I kept bouncing majors because I really wanted to be an obstetrician. I love the thought and the process of delivering babies. However, I did not want to do any other part of an obstetrician because for some stupid reason, you can be a gynecologist without being an obstetrician, but you can't be an obstetrician without being a gynecologist. And I didn't want to do anything to do with a gynecologist. So that's not what deterred me. That is just a thing that kept popping in my head. And I kept changing my major. One, kind of because of that, but also because the thought of going to school that long, it's like, oh. And it wasn't even like the schooling. Like the schooling is long. But then afterwards, especially for that specific field, there was so many more years of residency and like, so I decided not to ultimately, but I did kept going back and forth between that and accounting. I know, way opposite spectrums. So being an obstetrician is what I wanted to do. Being an accountant is not something I wanted to do necessarily, but every single test I would take, like all of those like career tests and all of this would always say something along the lines of accountant, and I'm just really good at it. So I kept going back and forth between those two because one I was good at and everything was telling me I should do, the other one I wanted to do, but then the schooling made me like, I don't know, man. So anyways, I kept changing my major, and finally, I think my mom actually, I don't remember this, but she tells me now that she is also one of the people who was telling me, why don't you just take a break until you know what you want to do? So that also happened to be the time when I met my husband. And so because I was still so confused in my head, that also happened to be the semester I was taking things like speech again. Afraid of public speaking, any form, singing, speaking, stage fright. Anyways, so I really never wanted to go to that class. And so I ended up not going very often, to the point where I was almost gonna get dropped anyways. So I was just like, you know what? Why am I doing this? Why am I spending all this money if I don't know what the hell I want? I need to stop bouncing, stop just taking random classes to take the classes because I didn't know what I wanted. Mind you, the whole time I had a full-time job. So I actually did the non-conventional route, and I always had a full-time job, and I worked and did school at night. I worked 8 hours during the day and then did classes at night at the community college. So yeah, I mean, needless to say, I dropped out, and it was supposed to just be a break until I could figure out what I wanted to do, and I never went back. And I don't ever plan on going back. That is the nice thing, is like, there's so much you can do without a degree. And I hate it with a passion that my generation's parents pushed it on you. They pushed college on you, pushed that you needed a degree, and like, you needed a degree to make good money. No, you don't. And like, so I'm currently trying to kind of rework my subconscious to think of career and money differently, because obviously just the way I was raised, which isn't my mom's fault, but it's just the way society was, is something I'm really trying to change my mindset on. Now that we have successfully bronzed our face, I need a blush. I'm gonna go in with the Alameda Cosmetics, and it's a trio. Don't know what it's called. Just says Color Brush Blush Trio. And I'm gonna go in with probably a combination. No, just for this one. It's just a coral. I love coral in the summer. I get way off topic if you can't tell. I'm easily sidetracked. Oh, that is another thing. So that's a personality trait, but easily sidetracked. I'm also I also have memory issues. No idea why. I just do. I could tell you an idea of why, but unless I actually saw somebody to kind of help me figure it out, I don't actually know the reason why. But I have a feeling I broke my leg when I was 6 or 7, I think. It was the summer before kindergarten. No, the summer before 1st grade. So however old you are in that grade. Anyways, I was at daycare. Some kid fell on top of me off of a jungle gym and broke my leg. So I have been told the stories of how I was in the hospital and how bad I was like screaming and stuff. So I have a feeling that at a young age I learned to block out memories because of the pain probably. So I think it's just something I subconsciously do, because I don't have short-term memory loss and I don't have long-term memory loss, because there's things on both spectrums that I remember. So I don't know. That's just my thought. Is I think it's something I subconsciously do without meaning to, which also means I can't pick and choose what memories I'm remembering or forgetting. But I'll tell you, the only nice part about it is I can rewatch movies as if they're brand new. So, I mean, it's not that bad. Sometimes it'll feel like there's parts that are like deja vu, but yeah, my memory is pretty bad. Which is so funny, because I'm that person that you want to take with you if you're traveling somewhere, because I can easily tell you how to get back. Like, I somehow have slight photogenic memory. Like, it makes no sense. If you understand what's happening, if you're like a therapist, let me know. I need to figure this out. Do you speak any languages, and how well? Yes and no. So I speak Greek and Spanish. Obviously English, it's what I'm speaking. I was raised to speak English. Unfortunately, I yell at my dad about that all the time. However, he likes to blame it on my grandpa, on my mom's side, that he didn't like my dad speaking Greek around everyone. But then if you ask my mom, it was because my dad was newer to the country and preferred to speak English. So, I don't know the real story, because obviously each one's gonna give me a different one. I'm gonna go in with the Glazed palette from Laura Lee Los Angeles and just take the lightest shade. So I knew stuff in Greek, which is so funny because Yaya and Papoose is grandma and grandpa, but I didn't know that that was grandma and grandpa. I just knew that that's what I called them, so I thought that was their names for the longest time. But anyways, so I knew like basics because just my grandparents, they didn't speak English at all. And they came and visited a couple of times, but I honestly don't really remember them. Again, memory issues. So that's all I knew of Greek at the beginning. And then my dad met my stepmom when I was 11. And so my dad is fluent in Greek and English, and somehow became not, I wouldn't say fluent, but pretty good conversationally wise. I can't speak English. In Spanish. And so anyways, so he met my stepmom who lived in Mexico. I don't really know exactly how that all happened, but she's from Mexico, didn't speak any English other than like hello. So anyway, so they got together, she moved up here, didn't speak any English, and my dad would leave us alone together. I spoke no Spanish other than what probably most Americans know, you know, hello, hi, how are you, blah, 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 the basics. So he would leave us alone. And so we ended up just like pointing at things, and I taught her English while she ended up teaching me Spanish from me helping her learn English. So I was pretty well fluent in Spanish, like, but the problem is that I was always teaching her English. So she would point at a word, she would speak to me in Spanish, but she wanted to know the English words so that she was learning English. So because of that, I hardly ever spoke Spanish. So I could understand you and I knew what you were saying, but I never spoke it really. I mean, I kind of did sometimes, but not really. It was mostly just English so that she was learning it. By the way, I'm taking the Jaclyn Cosmetics Diamond Something and Extra. So that happened. Then they moved away, and obviously then I had nobody to really speak with because everyone in my school just spoke English. Like, yes, I had a lot of, I had Spanish friends, I had Puerto Rican friends, but we always all spoke English together. So the only time I would ever hear Spanish after that was if there was a song on or something like that. So I kind of lost it. Like, to this day, if you speak Spanish to me, I know what you're saying, but it has to be conversational Spanish. Like, it can't be more complex of a sentence, but conversational things like you say in the household and stuff like that, I can understand. But because I never spoke it and then I was away from it for that many years, I cannot figure out how to form a sentence back. I can if they're like simple sentences, but past that I can't really. My brain just literally gets messed up. But then to make it more complicated, when I moved to Greece, I learned Greek from being stuck there. Well, not stuck there, but being like surrounded by a bunch of people. And my dad, again, didn't teach me Greek as a kid, and while I was there, would not teach me anything. Literally, somebody would come up to me and want to speak Greek to me, and I would just kind of look over at my dad, and instead of translating or doing anything, he would just talk for me, and I'd be like, what'd they say? He would just ignore me. So that didn't work. So anyways, my dad was no help, but my stepmom, back to how we were as kids, when I was a kid, she just did the opposite. So now she wouldn't speak English to me, she just kept speaking Greek to me so that I would pick it up in the house. And anyways, so I kind of, again, half learned Greek, never really had to use the words or speak it unless I went to like a little grocery store by myself. But the majority of the time I would drag my stepbrother with me. But I did eventually start going by myself, but that was easy. It was just saying like, how much is it? And you know, you're not really talking that much at the store. So again, then I got the problem of, I understand what you're saying, I'm just not speaking it enough. And so then that has now been 9 years since I did all of that, went there. So it's now the same way my Spanish is, where if you say it, I understand you, again, conversational only, but I don't now know what to say. And now I have 2 languages that I'm like that. So now in my head, I'm like, ah, fuck, what language is what? I don't know. Like if somebody says, hey, how do you say favorite? I was just looking on it on the list. In my head, I know what word I'm thinking of, but I can't tell you what language it is. There's some specific words that I just know for sure are Spanish and I just know for sure are Greek, but the rest of them I'm intermixed and I cannot figure out for the life of me what word's what. And there are some words that are very similar in Greek and Spanish. So my brain just, I don't speak it. I can speak it if I need to, like I can say the words, but I can't put a sentence together, and it's real annoying. Like I think I just need to sit down, focus, and learn one language, so then I wouldn't be as confused to be like, fuck, which language is this? Which way does it go? So yeah, it does crack me up because my dad, stepmom, two half sisters, and stepbrother are all fluent in English, Spanish, and Greek. So a lot of times they'll be speaking Greek at home when I go visit them, or we'll go out to eat and they'll be speaking Greek. And I'll answer them in English because I know what they're saying. But it cracks me up because even my dad is like, man, I need to be careful what I'm saying. I forget you understand. yeah, just because I don't speak it doesn't mean I can't understand you. And it is really funny in public too, when like people are speaking Spanish around me and they don't think I understand. I'm like, so sometimes I'll look at my husband and he'll be like, what? And so then I'll end up telling him what they said. But it's pretty interesting. I really just need to sit down and learn one language. All right, I'm gonna set my face with the Morphe Setting Mist. I kind of forgot I was doing my makeup, to be honest. All right, next simple question. Are you single or taken? I'm married. We've been, since I know some of you guys wanted some questions about him as well and us. So even though it's not on this list, I'll just say some stuff that I think you might want to know. So we've been together 7 years now. Yeah, this year is our 7th year. We've been married for a year and a half. We were engaged within like a year of dating, but then we both just kept putting off the wedding because like I wasn't a huge, oh, I need to get married, like I'm so excited. Like to be honest, I didn't really care about getting married. And honestly, neither did he. I think we just both kind of went through the social norm and got engaged, and then we're like, I don't really care for this. Like it was more also because we didn't care that much. The thought of spending a bunch of money on a wedding was like, I keep forgetting, do your makeup. I'm gonna grab the Boss Babe from Laura Lee Los Angeles and just take this middle brown shade and just put that all over my crease. So anyways, we weren't really too huge on getting married, but our family kept bugging us. So eventually we just caved and said, fuck, we'll get married. And then everyone afterwards is like, oh, do you feel any different? No. Or they'll be like, what's married life like? The same. Like, in our eyes, it's just a piece of paper. We are not religious like the rest of our family is, and I know a lot of other people are. So to us, it really didn't matter. But we did it because it mattered to our families, which isn't a reason to get married. Don't follow suit. But we have no plans of ever getting divorced. We had no plans of breaking up ever, which not that you plan to, but you know what I mean. Like, so we just did it for them. But then we also really loved where we did it, which was on a yacht in Florida. So that was fun. Anyways, so yeah, it's been, this September will be 2 years, I think. What else about us? Mike is a mechanic. Oh, I guess I didn't tell you, I'm an accountant. I know, I had the whole thing about not wanting to be an accountant and didn't even tell you. I'm an accountant now with no degree. What else should I tell you about us? See, that's a problem. I should have asked you guys, but like I said, not everyone follows me on Instagram, so I felt like that wouldn't have been fair to ask them there. Well, we started a vlog channel, so if you want to know more about us together, you can watch that vlog channel. I will attempt to remember to link it down below. Okay, let's get back to me. That sounds wrong, but these questions are all about like one person and not a couple. So what's your longest relationship? It's my husband. What's your go-to hairstyle? A ponytail, if you haven't noticed. Actually, you guys see me, so I go about a week without washing my hair, and so every time I'm filming is towards the end of the week, so you always, almost always get my hair up in a bun or in the braid because it's looking rough. Mac or PC? Mac. Okay, I'm gonna wear the Fendi Stack number 7 and take this like cool tone brown just to deepen up my crease. Tell us one thing about you that we wouldn't know. I am an open book. I literally have no filter most of the time. I don't care about like being embarrassed or not telling somebody something. I just changed my lighting. And so I am pretty upfront. I will tell you about anything. Now don't get me wrong, I still know like social cues of when not to say something. But like if you're a friend and you ask me a question, I'm gonna give you my legitimate answer, even if it's not something you wanna hear, which is often why I was called a bitch in high school. But I'm sorry, I am just honest. I would rather somebody be honest to me, and maybe that's the thing is, you know, the whole treat yourself like you want somebody to treat you. I would rather somebody be upfront and honest with me. I hate liars. I guess there's something you don't know about me. I literally cannot stand liars. Who would you be in the Hunger Games? Whoever was hiding. I don't remember their names. What's your favorite ice cream flavor? Chocolate or birthday cake? Do you have any siblings? I have 4 siblings. God, why did I just have to do the math? I have 1 full sibling, one full sibling, full blood, one stepbrother. Actually, I have multiple. Hold on. I can't just count him then. I have 6 siblings then, if I'm gonna count that. So the only reason I say that is I have 2 step siblings that I wouldn't really count as siblings because they weren't around as much, but also they're a lot older, so I just normally wouldn't have even counted them. But I can't count one step sibling and then not count the others. I have my brother who is full blood, and then I have 2 step siblings from my mom's second marriage. One of them, though, I've literally only maybe met a couple of times when I was a kid at like 12 or 13. And then that's why I say I wouldn't normally count them, because then also the other sibling has only really been around now since I've been kind of an adult, well, maybe 16 and older. And then on my dad's side, my stepmom has a son who I've known since he was 3. So that's why for me, he's just a brother. And then I have 2 half-sisters who are my dad and my stepmom's kids. So there's 6 of us. But we have huge age gaps. So we're not gonna count my stepdad's son because, like I said, I've really only met him a couple of times. So if you do ages though, my stepsister on my mom's side and my full brother are 9-ish and 10 years older than me. So me and my brother are 9.5 years apart. And then my stepbrother is 9 years apart from me the other way, so he's 9 years younger than I am. And then I'm 14 years and 19 years from the youngest. Yeah, so my brother and the youngest are 29 years apart, almost 30. Actually, she is 2 years older than his oldest daughter. Yeah. Anyways. So it's funny when she's like, oh yeah, my aunt. And you're like, you mean your aunt who's 2 years older than you? It's so funny. Anyways, what else? This is gonna be really long. I'm sorry. I need to cut it short. I'm gonna try to use this as I talk. I haven't used it yet. It's from the Charlotte Tilbury. It's called the Brow Cheat Micro Precision Brow Gel. Are you in here? Oh, can you come help me? I can't figure out any more questions and this thing is over with. What's some questions if you didn't know me you would ask? Because I can't think of any more.
What's your favorite thing to do?
That's depressing because nothing. I love watching YouTube.
What are your hobbies?
Okay, that's more depressing. Nothing. This.
What makes you happy?
Are you just trying to make me upset? We talked about this yesterday.
What is your favorite
Nothing.
designer purse out of your collection?
Out of my collection?
Yes.
Well, it's gonna be the purse I just bought.
What's your favorite designer in general?
Favorite design? Probably Louis.
What is your favorite
Next.
YouTube video to make?
To make? Like fully make or just sit down and do?
Sit down and do.
Oh.
What's your favorite thing to sit down and do?
Just play with makeup then. Because I hate editing these videos.
What is your favorite makeup look?
The really simple where it doesn't even look like they have eyeshadow on, but somehow they're glowing. I don't know how they do it.
What's your favorite makeup product?
Foundation. Oh, like a specific foundation even? Well, currently it's the Charlotte Tilbury that I used today.
Gotcha.
I'm like lately kind of obsessed with Charlotte Tilbury, which sucks because she's expensive. This looks really nice, but it was really hard to do. Okay, let's do lips. Lips! Do you want to do some lips? I'm sorry. So I went ahead and just finished my makeup. I can tell you what I used. So I did use the Charlotte Tilbury, and then after that I put some Benefit Gimme Brow on top. And then for mascara, I used the Dior Iconic Over Curl. And then for the lips, I started off with this, which is by Flower Beauty. It is called Toffee. And then I decided to add this. Bad idea because they did not go together, like I needed to fully cover it, but I actually like the colors on top of each other. This is from Laura Lee Los Angeles in the shade Nakey Nakey. So yeah, that is just some things about me. If there's something I didn't mention that you wanted to know, let me know down below and I'll probably just answer your comment. But that is all I have for this video, so thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next one.